Do you know what you want? I mean, really? I'm looking forward to talking about this subject, but please give me a couple of seconds just to say hi to the people in the chat, the inner circle you see with the IC with their name and the super chatters. So, hi, Bill. Hi, Arthur, John, Jody, Sarah. Hey, Kai, how are you? Hi, Sandy. Great to have you in here. Again, we'll get started just in a few seconds. Hi, Eric. How are you? Great to have you on here. And hi, James. Hi, Jerome. And again, we'll go ahead and get started. Hello, my name is Robert Hollis. I hope you're having a wonderful and blessed day. And today's subject is, do you know what you want? Do you know what you want? And the reason that I bring this up is this is so important. This is so important. The more you can design, you can look on my YouTube channel and as soon as you can design a perfect day where you get to visualize it, vision inspires success in others now. And if you can project that, like in the 6 phase meditation, if you can reflect that 3 years from to now, and emotionally get involved with what you want. A lot of people have problems and struggles. They feel stuck, they feel lost because they're not moving forward. And the reason that people don't move forward in life is they have nothing to look forward to. There's a thing in this world called learned hopelessness. And what it really means is we don't know this, but we just become who we hang around. One of the things I did in AI, artificial intelligence, is before I jumped on here, I went on there and I just put in, there are several, why do people struggle to identify what they want in life? And it's funny because one of them was saying our educational system, because our educational system, traditionally, education systems are often more focused on a route of learning and less on helping a student not only explore what their passions are, but what their strengths are. And this just leads to a lot of uncertainty about your personal desires. So, what we end up doing is we don't realize that we don't know what we want. And because we won't take the time to really figure out what we want, we usually allow the rest of the world to tell us what we want. Thank you, Bill, so much. Oh my God, the children are going to love this. By the way, for those of you who are seeing this, super chatters, the money goes to orphans. And so I see on here we got Joan and Rochelle, Scott. Thank you guys very much. Melody, I love you. And so when you realize that a lot of the stuff outside of us tell us, hey, you got to get good grades. Hey, you got to go to you got to get a good job. Hey, you got to work hard. You got to have a relationship. You got to have the picket fence and a couple of kids and a couple of pets. But this world just constantly is just putting what their opinions are on what we need to do. And so the other reason I love down here, I'll read off some of them to you, is we just have an overabundance of choices, an overabundance of choices. And so a lot of people like, I don't know what I want to do for a hobby. I don't know what I want to do for fun. I don't know what I want to do for a career. I don't know what kind of lifestyle I have. I don't know where I want to live. It's all these things, and confused people do nothing. Confused people do nothing. And so one of the things that a lot of people don't realize is it's sometimes easier to write down a list. And I know some of you go, I'm not writing nothing. Those are people that are not at the right place at the right time to hear this information. I'm always saying things to those that have ears to hear. It's difficult to help somebody that knows everything. I'll be 63 next month. And the more I learn, the less I know. See, some people don't understand what that is, but it's almost a definition of wisdom. It's that the more things you figure out, the more questions that you have. And so a lot of times when you're young, you know what I mean? You're a know-it-all, you're a right fighter. I'll fight for the right to be right. Even though later in life you find out that the right thing that you were fighting for that you believed in is changed in your beliefs and your thoughts. So it's funny. It's like I had a great relation meeting with a dear old friend of mine, David Beckley, and this guy was the guy that was never going to get married, never, ever, 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 ever. And so I get to meet his new wife and his two young daughters. They're just gorgeous, and it's like, what happened? I know, I know. It's hilarious, right? Another one is here is like, always understand that your social and culture expectations. It's pretty unique when we first get involved in life because we have a lot of people that expect us to go to school. They expect us to go to junior high. They expect us to go to ninth grade and so on and so forth. And so based on your social culture and and your expectations, you sort of end up doing what the most of the people have an opinion you should do. Well, we do that because we want love. We want people to accept us. We want, connection. We a lot of people are people pleasers, and they love helping the people that say stuff about them. They want to make them happy, and you'll find out later in life if you haven't figured this out already. Is it's one of those things that are just impossible. There's no way that you can please all people all time. And it's really unique that we're all unique, but in being unique, then we want to be like other people. So some people want to be like, Taylor Swift, and some people want to be like Kelsey, and some people want to be, actors, and it's people want to be what other people are instead of figuring out what makes them unique and where they're strong. What do they love to do? What if they could figure out the thing that they love the most? What if they could turn that into an income, a full-time income? And it's just pretty amazing. Of course, we all have the fear of failure and the fear of rejection. This is one of those things that people just got to get over. I know it's difficult, but it's like when I changed careers from being an auto mechanic to being a marketer. There was not one skill that I could bring over from being a mechanic to learning how to connect with other people, to figure out how to get them to know, like, and trust me, because I'm really in this to help them. I'm here to help them help themselves. And so when people really don't understand that, they say, well, this is too good to be true. Why would you help me? And I was like, why wouldn't I? And so it's really amazing again how skeptical people can be because the majority of the people that they hang around are not interested in helping anybody. They're just interested in selfish needs because that's all they know. Other people are like that. The other part is of course what we talked about, like lack of self-knowledge. You know what I mean? Um, a lot of us, me included, I used to be this way is I constantly needed the world to change. I needed the world to change. I needed the government to change. I needed my boss to change. I needed my friends to change. I needed everything to change. I'm not going to change. These things have to change. And when you get to understand that, all of a sudden it's like, wow, you know what? It doesn't seem like that's going to do it. So then we don't figure out what we want in life until we figure out ways of doing things that are not. A lot of people get involved in the same kind of business that I do and they fail big time. And it's because they really don't know why they're doing it. They have no, if you say, well, what do you want? Well, I want to make money. Well, here's $5. You know what I mean? Here, I'll give you some money. Here you go. Well, I need more than that. Then why didn't you say that? I guess I never thought of it. So this stuff takes work. The work is worth it. It definitely is worth it. The world is changing really, really, really fast. I know I brought this up in another story, but it's mind-boggling today that people are going to school, and I found this out by myself, for myself. My professor, Professor Bitts, told me that the stuff that I was learning at the trade school that I was at, North Dakota State College of Science, to be an automotive engineer. He told me that the stuff that I was learning in the classroom and that the stuff that they were showing me how to do would not be what I was doing when I got out because the world was changing that fast. And this is back in the early 80s. Are you guys listening to this? It's like I love watching mechanical stuff all the time. I watch Motor Trend all the time. I still love watching how they build cars. And me and David were talking about this. My friend, we built a pro stock dray car. He's still doing that stuff. And it's amazing the stuff that the technology that's available today, and how much horsepower and how much RPM, revolutions per minute, that motors can turn today because of the technology that they have now, how long they can last. I was watching an episode of Bitchin' Rides, and they were saying that when they dyno a motor for Caterpillar, that the motor is on the dyno for 30 days. Because these motors are designed to virtually last forever, right? So, me looking at all the technology and the stuff today, it's like, my God, people go, you ever want to play with mechanics anymore? And I was like, no, I just want to buy a car that technology makes. So, some people don't like the world changing. I love being in this new AI world and driving the fastest production car ever made, a Tesla Model S, at Plaid. It's like, come on, man. You can buy a car. I was watching a deal last night. The guy was going, oh, is that a Dre car? And he goes, yeah. And he goes, what does it do? 11 seconds. The Tesla can do 152 miles an hour in 9 seconds. And it's a car with stereo, air conditioning, heating, everything. It's just crazy how fast things are moving. So, that's another reason that people really, really hesitate. It's really crazy. A lot of people believe what others tell them. I've said this many times. Why someone would listen to undocumented people is still, to me, to this day, mind-boggling. I didn't even do that when I was a teenager. Jim Rohn says it best. Find the most miserable person you can find, the most depressed, the brokest person that that's not only, broke in income, but broken relationships, and sit down and take them out to lunch and ask them what they did to get there. And don't do that. So really early in life, there was people that were going to the drag track every weekend and racing, and there was other people that talked about it, and they always had opinions of what you should do, what motor you should work, what class you should be in. They have all this incredible opinion and what they thought were knowledge, but they never raced. They didn't have a car. It's mind-boggling to me that people today actually will say stuff to me that they've heard from others, and they don't even know whether or not it's freaking true or not. Mind-boggling. Just totally mind-boggling. And people will say, hey, Robert, have you heard of this book? You can go to roberthollis.com/free and get a digital copy of my best-selling book. Read it in 12. It was released on Amazon. It's also in in Spanish, and also has the audiobook. And I just want you guys to understand that, when you start listening to people that have helped other people get the results that you want in your life, man, things become easy. They really, really become easy. And so most people, because they don't believe in themselves, and they don't feel they're worthy, they don't feel like they're enough, they're not in a state of mind of receiving. See, if you don't value yourself, you're never going to reach out to someone that is great at teaching people how to be successful. You won't reach out to them because you don't feel worthy. And then if you did reach out to them and they told you what to do, then because you don't know what you want in life, you won't move forward. You ever wonder why people wonder why? But it's a very, very key thing in life. Of course, we have down here mental health. A lot of people struggle with a lot of things mentally, and they haven't taken the time to figure out how to how to manage that, how to figure out if that's a chemical deficiency they have, or whatever. But there's a lot of people that they Albert Einstein said this the best, right? As he says, you can't rely on the mindset that got you to where you are now to get you to a different place. But we do, don't we? We're too prideful. We have too much of an ego, edging God out, ego. And what we do is we constantly see that we're not in a good position in life. And we just keep talking to ourselves. One of my biggest keys I'm asked all the time is, what's one of the biggest keys to my success? And I would say my ability to humble myself, be willing to know that I don't know. In fact, I don't want to bring anything into any learning experience. I don't want to bring any baggage, not only into a relationship, but to another mentor that's teaching me a new level on how to be. So it takes a different level to be an employee than it takes to be self-employed, than it takes to be a business owner. So you got to have different beliefs to make, four figures a month, under 9,999, and to maintain or hit a five-figure month is a different you. Six figures a month, a different you. Seven figures a month, a different you. So you got to really understand what you want in life. And the last one is, of course, life transitions. A lot of people in life don't realize that all of a sudden, if you're stuck, the fastest thing that you can change is your environment. Look for another job. Be willing to downgrade your lifestyle to start over. I've done that many, 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 many times. So I've gone from, making incredible money to things didn't go well. And now I'm, my wife and my two toddlers, which, by the way, my son Matthew's 32 today, 32 years ago. My God. So there was a time when him and his little brother, Kyle, were living with their mother and father-in-law, their grandma and grandpa. My wife was there. We didn't have a car. We put all our stuff in storage in a barn Quonset that didn't cost us any money. And I had to rebuild all over again. Different skills, different knowledge. I had to learn what I want. And you're like, well, how did that happen? Well, the company that I was with went out of business. So all of a sudden, if it just goes out of business, people are like, hey, check out this startup. No. Last time I tried one of those startups, I lose everything. Get going for a few years, get some documentation, get some people that are documented and helping other people. You know what I mean? So life transitions, such as, starting a new job or moving or having a relationship breakup. There's a lot of things that all of a sudden, I guess, would put us in a aircraft knowledge would be in a tailspin. We're out of control and we just don't know how to handle all the emotions and stuff. And so that's really, really powerful. So to close this up, I just thought I'd read this. I think it's pretty interesting. Understanding what one wants is a dynamic and ongoing progress. It requires time, experience, self reflection, and sometimes courage to step out of your comfort zones. It's a common and natural part of human experience to be unsure about what you want at various stages in your life. So, the last thing I want to share with you is stop being a bully. Just stop being a bully. Stop beating yourself up. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with yourself. Learn to ask for help. Learn to be consistent. Learn to be persistent. See, there's things that we got to do to get where we want. And it happens very quickly once you know what you want. Because once you know what you want, now you got to make a decision whether you really want it or not. You're willing to sacrifice and pay the price. Second is seek out people that know how to help other people get that in their lives. And then thirdly is once you learn, execute and practice. The reason that a lot of people are unhappy in the world, in my opinion, is they don't know what they want. And once they figure out what they want, they're not willing to continue to practice to get what they want. So if you wanted to learn a new language, isn't it pretty simple? Think about it. You say, I want to speak a different language. You figure out what language. Then you find out if you're going to get a coach online or if you're going to buy CDs or use an app. And then once you do that, you got to be willing to go through the learning process and practice. And I just love it when people speak another language and you just look at them and they're talking to a waiter or a waitress and they're speaking Italian or they're speaking French or any other. It's amazing. And so isn't it amazing that everyone always says, that would be so cool to learn a different language. See, in my opinion, everything that we figure out we want, it's easy to do and easy to practice the boring, mundane stuff, but it's easier not to do. So that's what we do. So what do you want? What do you want? What if someone you knew said to you, tell me what you want? I want to know what you want and be clear. I need you to get me emotionally involved in your story. Because people that can do that can attract people and influence those people to believe in themselves, to start getting belief checks and start getting an organization and start really helping people get what they want in life. So, last quote is, I believe it's Mark Twain that said, I can help anybody get anything they want. It's just difficult to find people that know what they want. So make sure that you take your time. People reach out to me and they have questions all the time. And they just say to me, well, I don't know about this. I don't know about this. And then that's why I use the plan, right? I'm like, okay, well, tell me what you want. I don't know. It's like, listen, if you don't know what you want, then how can you have a plan to get there? You figure out where you want to go, like on vacation, and then you figure out how you're going to get there, what you're going to do once you get there, where you're staying, where you're going to do with your meals, what kind of excursions that you're going to take. But you got to first figure out what you want. So I love and appreciate you. If I did it, you can do it. And please do me a huge personal favor and share this video with people that don't know what they want. If they don't have something to look forward to, they're not going to move forward. And that's why I do the plan. See, the plan, the game plan is to basically get them in dream mode of getting them to say, if I gave you this money, what would you do with it? That's what my mentor did to me. So love and appreciate you. In about 35 minutes, I will be live on YouTube again, doing an interview with one of my dear old friends. Believe we met in 90 or 91, but his name is David Rutz. He's really, really, really good in this industry. He started multiple companies. I'm so proud of him. And we're sort of going to reconnect and talk on the podcast. So hopefully you guys can tune into that. And take care. God bless. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.